Hello and welcome to another video with me, Winner Andrew, with another video of Weekly Andrew, in which I actually have more to talk about this week than what I had for the last 2 weeks. So yay for that, I finally actually have more to talk about. So, just getting straight off into anime, I guess, starting with my Dress Up Darling, in which Gojo's grandpa ended up injuring his back, basically. And also Gojo then started to overwork himself a lot, considering he has to deal with his grandpa's injury, tests at school, and also making the cosplay for Marin. In which, when he finishes that cosplay, he finds out that Marin didn't even plan to go to the cosplay event that she mentioned. So yeah, he is overworking himself for basically no reason. And in all honesty, just the fact that when his grandpa was injured there, he should have brought up that he probably wanted to be able to finish the cosplay in time. That would have been pretty reasonable at the time, considering things. But he didn't. Instead, he just continue forcing himself to overwork on everything, basically. So yeah, Gojo, not very smart, but definitely still good character, I think. Kind of. So, with my Dress Up Darling out of the way there, moving on to Realist Hero, in which first half of the episode is basically just Soma and Lord Carmine talking, kinda trying to. Soma kinda trying to convince Carmine to not do all this, kind of, but ends up having it where someone gives him a poisoned wine, basically, so he can basically kill himself. So yeah, Carmine is dead, unless they for some reason decide to bring him back, and that's the poisoned wine wasn't actually poisoned, and just knocked him out or something. Not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure he is dead. And also, then, not much happens in the middle of the episode, I guess, until we get towards the end, in which Aisha has officially become the second wife Soma is going to have once he actually does marry. So, yeah. Also, Juno probably going to be the third wife at this point once she's no longer the kingdom's songstress, considering idol culture. Yeah. Basically bringing that into the anime here, I guess. Considering Juna, songstress for the kingdom, upward go if she got engaged, yeah, whatever. And also at the end of the episode, we basically get to see the new enemies that we're going to have, which are basically, from what I can tell, a bunch of nobles trying to control the kingdom from behind the scenes, pretty much. So, I guess a deep state? I don't really know. But moving on past that to the last anime I actually have anything I really want to mention. So, World of Liddell, in which at the beginning of the episode, I managed to pick up on this before we actually got to the title screen, which kind of just completely gave it away. In which this episode was basically just grandson and granddaughter, basically. So Kenya has a grandson and granddaughter, and also a single line that kind of tells you that she also has a great grandson as well. On top of all of that, yeah, this is getting a bit crazy, especially considering the grandson, to be honest, he kind of looks older than Mai, which is his mother. So, yeah. And also, end of the episode, um, rock golems attacking the forest that's Kenya's at, along with their granddaughter. So, yeah. Next episode, we're going to be seeing Kenya destroy a bunch of rock golems, I guess. So, yeah, got that to look forward to in the next episode, I guess. So, moving on to now and then, I guess, considering, yeah. I actually literally only played this today, as I'm recording this. So, yeah, got around to playing Chapter 24, which originally was going to be the final chapter of the game, but they kind of pushed that back, so there's only going to be 25 chapters, so. Beginning there, we of course have the reunion with Cindy and Julie, and then kind of not tons happening until we get to the point where we are informed by McCarty that they're going to have an, a meeting with the bandits that's been raiding their farms for negotiations and everything, which of course we all know is going to be an ambush, basically. Just hoping that it's not, but expecting that it is going to be an ambush. And to be honest, I didn't actually expect that confrontation to actually happen in this chapter. I was expecting that to actually be next chapter, but it ended up turning out to be in this chapter, in which all the bandits were killed except for one of the important ones that actually managed to get away, leaving, yeah, which ended up leaving to try and bring in reinforcements, but end up finding out that all the others that were with them, with an exception to another 6, took the opportunity to run away. So they're now down to 8, which 2 of the important ones that we've actually seen, and then another 6 random ones that we definitely don't care about at all, considering we've never seen them. Meanwhile, in the confrontation on our side, no one's injured, except for Officer Cole, which got shot, but will survive considering it's basically just a flesh wound for him. Nothing vital hit or anything, so good there, I guess. And when it comes to 8 scenes in this chapter, first off, you kind of have Sydney's. You get Sydney's H scene, and but if you reject her, you then get Hannah's H scene instead, unless you also reject her, in which then you just have a conversation with Carol. So yeah, you can do Sydney's, reject her, then get Hannah's, or reject her and just have a conversation with Carol. Which I of course end up just going for Sydney, considering I honestly prefer Sydney out between the 2 of them there, considering, yeah. And after those 8 scenes, you end up getting one for Naomi, and then you got one for Alice, and then finally one for Carol, which was extra long, to be honest. Which I guess makes sense considering it's the final 8 scene of the chapter, which basically just finishes chapter off. So, yeah. Kind of going back, looking at the beginning during that one with the first time. But yeah, overall, actually pretty good chapter, I think. Better than like the last one or even the one before that, I think. Because it actually felt like stuff happens this chapter, which, of course, things did happen. So, yeah, finally moving forward with the story, I guess. But from what I can understand, there is only going to be 2 more updates for the game. One for the final chapter, which is going to be chapter 25, which will be next month, I think, or this month. Yeah. And then after that, which I think will be the final update, which will be adding the endings to the game as well. Don't know exactly for sure if there's going to be anything extra added done after that. Maybe bug fixes or something. I'm not exactly sure. But from what I understand, it's just going to be another 2 updates for now and then, and it's over. In which the developers kind of already started teasing the next game that he's going to be working on as well. So, yeah, moving on to Devious World, in which I only actually played what was added in this update for it. In which the first 2 things listed here for the updates I do not do anything about, considering I haven't actually gotten to that character yet. So, last four of them, starting from the top, got science one there, in which I renamed that last word there in quotation marks, considering I'm not exactly sure if YouTube would like that. So, yeah. Also, version number up top, I also had to fix considering developer forgot to actually update that number. So, yeah. Um, with this one, basically two routes kind of written from that choice at this point. One which goes the incest route with your mother, kind of, and then another one where you can show it to your friend, which I immediately knew was going to be Leslie, which is nice considering out of all the other characters that you kind of have to do things with when playing as Cyan, Leslie is one of my two favorites. So it's very nice to actually see get more of stuff with Leslie there, but sadly it wasn't that much in comparison to the other routes for this. And then the second part of the update here with Jack is basically just you getting a dog for your daughter, in which I don't think I really need to say any more than that, considering, well, you know anything about this game when it comes to some of the fetishes in it. Yeah, it's obvious where that's going to go. Dog and girl. Yeah, I don't need to say any more than that. Then to the second thing that was added for Jack, in which basically just gives you the option to actually choose a son instead of a daughter. And what was added there to start with, basically, your son ends up having a girlfriend, which is the popular girl, which of course turns out to be a very manipulative bitch that only even sees him as a toy. So, yeah, kinda stop right there when we figure that out, but despite the fact that to me it is just very obvious where that was going, so yeah, as far as that thing goes. And then to science, one that was added here at the end, in which adds the option to browse Devious Want ads, which is basically getting a job, and there's only actually one thing available there currently, which is a research assistant in which you kind of just help your boss there look into supernatural stuff like aliens or other stuff. And with what's been written there so far, ends up leading to tentacle hentai. That's it, really. Despite, though, there, if you continue that and kind of go to the person that's created the site where he got the information about that stuff from, which is basically a journalist turns conspiracy theorist, pretty much. Which, of course, the fact that you found the tentacles basically kind of proves that this person's not crazy and things that they're talking about is true. So, yeah. Ends up getting to her to find out that this person has been turned into a girl due to all the stuff that she's gone through with aliens and everything. So, yeah, quite interesting part. Bit right there, in all honesty, of everything that was added in this update. The two ones for Cyan are my favorites out of everything. Not exactly like the stuff that was added for Jack, especially with the fact that it didn't even really get tons of content for Jack. Considering the majority of it was for Cyan, just more being written and everything. That's pretty much everything that I had to mention when it comes to all this stuff. So, other updates that games have had this week is Lessons in Love and also Ripples. Lessons in Love update kind of got me off guard a bit. I had a feeling the game was going to be getting updated soon, but I didn't actually see the update on Patreon like I'm used to, considering the game's technically not actually on Patreon anymore, so yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to make an account on Subscribestar just to actually follow that game, and probably just go ahead and follow a bunch of other developers I am following on Patreon, considering Subscribestar is more welcoming. So, going to have to eventually get around to doing that, but this next week I'll probably get around to playing Lessons in Love updates and also Ripples. Lessons in Love update, which is basically like 2 updates behind because of Patreon's crap. Considering we still haven't actually gotten the Christmas update. That's the next update we're supposed to get. Really? The next update we're supposed to get is the Christmas update. That's how far behind the game has gotten to what was scheduled, basically. All purely because of Patreon. Yeah. But I think that's all I actually really have to mention for this video. So that will be the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.